Hi, I'm David DiCerto from Castletown Media. It's time to talk Oscars. I'll break down the major races, handicap the nominees, and make my predictions. I'll give you the score on the sure bets, potential upsets, the snubs, and the surprises, all through a Catholic lens.
The winner is...
And the winner is...
The 97th Academy Awards are upon us, Hollywood's high holy day, the Super Bowl of movies, the first of which took place in 1929 in the Blossom Room of LA's Roosevelt Hotel. 15 statues were handed out during a ceremony that lasted a whopping 15 minutes. A far cry from the current-day marathon, globally televised spectacle of celebrity worship. The Oscars, nicknamed, at least according to one legend, after an Academy librarian's Uncle Oscar, were created to celebrate excellence in cinema. Well, and to forestall talent from unionizing, but that's a story for another day. But for Catholics, however, the whole hoopla around the awards and its accompanying red carpet materialism and virtue signaling may arouse mixed feelings, as the films fated by Tinseltown are often at odds with the Church's worldview and its understanding of the human person, or in the case of one film this year, of itself. There are conscientious Catholics who fear that exposing themselves to certain films, including several of this year's nominees containing graphic sex and/or violence, will put them in risk of a near occasion of sin. And I certainly respect those concerns. Others may just not want to give their time and attention to films that don't reflect their values, or even insult them. Still others may earnestly ask, should I watch these films? I leave it to each viewer to make those decisions based on, hopefully, a well-formed conscience. In 1955, Pope Pius XII addressed the Italian film community in what has come to be known as the Ideal Film Exhortation. In it, the Holy Father defined an ideal film as one which, among other things, strengthens and uplifts man in the consciousness of his dignity, increases his knowledge of the lofty position conferred on him by his Creator, and strengthens his conviction that he can overcome obstacles, rise after every fall, and return to the right path. Now, it goes without saying, none of this year's contenders meet those criteria. All fall short, some by a long shot. But for those Catholics who do choose to watch some or all of the nominated films, I would say, sometimes, to borrow a phrase from the Episcopal priest Reverend Victor Lee Austin, reality breaks through. That is, truth breaks through, even in morally objectionable movies, and in ways the filmmaker may not have intended. How? Well, because God is truth, and the light of God's truth shines even in the darkness. The darkness cannot overcome it. Take, for example, a film like Honora, set against the dehumanizing world of sex workers, which contains gratuitous and explicit sexual content and which presents a diametrically different view of human sexuality than that of a Christian anthropology. And yet, in doing so, unintentionally or not, it shows our hedonistic consumer culture for what it is: vapid, degrading, and ultimately unfulfilling to our soul's deepest desire: authentic love and communion with others. Or The Substance, also chock full of graphic eroticism, nudity, and towards the end, bloody gore. I can't think of another film that better captures postmodernity's narcissism and sexual objectification of women. As Shakespeare said, art is a mirror we hold up to the world, however dark and shocking the reflection it reveals. Now, let me be clear, I am not justifying objectionable content, or endorsing in any way either film, or encouraging you to watch them. I caution viewers to follow their conscience. I'm simply pointing out that sometimes, even in dark parables like these, despite their lewd, at times repulsive content and morally compromised characters, truth can break through. Another of this year's Best Picture nominees, Conclave, deals explicitly with the Catholic Church. Well, at least director Edward Berger's biased version of it. I'll be posting a full review of it next week. But Conclave is hardly the first Catholic-themed Best Picture nominee. From 1943's Song of Bernadette and 1966's A Man for All Seasons to 1973's The Exorcist and 1986's The Mission, the Church has had a long presence in the Best Picture category, as have Catholic favorites like William Wyler's 1959 Ben-Hur, A Tale of Christ, one of my all-time greatest films, which is still tied for most Oscar wins, 11, with Titanic and The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Okay, without further ado, let's get down to my picks. Again, I'm neither infallible nor clairvoyant. These are just my educated guesses based on what industry insiders are saying. No one really knows until the envelopes are opened, and sometimes not even then. Just ask the producers of La La Land.
Moonlight, Best Picture.
But here goes my predictions. But before we do, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to Castletown Media on YouTube by clicking the subscribe button below. Okay, let's start with races that seem like locks. Best Supporting Actor and Actress. And again, these are not who I think should win, but who likely will win.
And the Oscar goes to
Robert De Niro in The Godfather.
Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting. George Clooney. Mahershala Ali.
Brad Pitt. Sam Rockwell.
Kiwi.
I just won an Oscar! For Best Supporting Actor, Kieran Culkin appears to have it in the bag for his turn as Jesse Eisenberg's free-spirited cousin in the buddy road comedy drama A Real Pain. He's won every major award: the Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, Screen Actors Guild, the BAFTA, the British equivalent of the Oscars. So a trip to the podium come Sunday night seems pretty much a fait accompli. While I never say never, I don't see any other nominee in this category posing a real threat. Though Honora's Yura Borisov and Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown were also really good. Who I would have liked to see nominated was Clarence Macklin for his breakout performance as a fictionalized version of himself in Sing Sing, or Benjamin Clementine as the compassionate air raid warden, Ife, in Blitz, who made the emotional most of his limited screen time.
The next award is for the best performance by an actress in a supporting role.
And the winner is
Hattie McDaniel.
Ingrid Bergman.
Dame Judi Dench.
Marissa Tomei.
Viola Davis.
Michelle Yeoh. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Next, Best Supporting Actress is also pretty much a done deal, with Zoe Saldana, the odds-on favorite, to win for her acting and singing and dancing in Emilia Perez, a Spanish-language transgender musical. As with Culkin, I don't see anyone derailing the Saldana Express. She just has too much momentum. It may not be, well, popular to say, and no disrespect to Ms. Saldana, but in my humble opinion, Ariana Grande delivered a superior triple threat performance in Wicked. Monica Barbaro as Joan Baez in A Complete Unknown, and Ingenue Ellis in Nickel Boys also deserve mention. One name I wish would have been in the mix was Juliette Binoche for her restrained portrayal of Penelope, the faithful wife of Ralph Fiennes' wandering hero Odysseus in Umberto Pasolini's The Return, which, as the title suggests, is a gritty retelling of the climactic ending of Homer's epic poem, The Odyssey. Set in a pre-Christian, thoroughly unredeemed world, it contains problematic bloody violence and sexuality, but the final 5-minute tableau is one of the most moving affirmations of spousal commitment and the enduring power of marital love that I've seen in a while. Plus, any film that tries to encourage a renewed interest in the Western canon rather than trying to cancel it deserves consideration in my book. Now, things start getting a bit foggier with Best Actor.
The winner is Humphrey Bogart, Marlon Brando, Sidney Poitier,
Al Pacino.
Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump.
Russell Crowe and Gladiator.
Matthew McConaughey,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Brendan Fraser.
The safe bet still seems to be Adrian Brody, who has racked up every major award for his committed performance as a Hungarian émigré architect in The Brutalist, carrying a 4-hour film squarely on his shoulders. Every award, I should say, except the Screen Actors Guild, which went to this year's Dark Horse darling, Timothée Chalamet, who inhabits the role of folk rock legend Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown. Chalamet has never won an Oscar, and while my money is still on Brody, I wouldn't be shocked if Chalamet pulls off an upset. He may want to figure out who he wants to thank, just in case. And while a thank you speech may not be in the cards for Coleman Domingo, he gets my Best Actor vote for Sing Sing.
The winner is
Miss Vivian Lee.
Miss Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holiday.
Julie Andrews, Kathy Bates, Julia Roberts.
Frances McDormand, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Even less clear is Best Actress, where it's a 2-horse race between Demi Moore for The Substance, who had been the clear-cut frontrunner and emotional favorite, and Mikey Madison, who pulled out a surprise BAFTA upset for Honora.
What?
Both are talented actresses, though if Madison wins, it would ironically echo the theme of The Substance, where Moore's character loses out to a younger rising star. I'd love to see Fernanda Torres win for I'm Still Here, and it would be nice for Cynthia Erivo to join the EGOT club. But I think the Academy loves a good comeback story, and it'll be Demi Moore's name that gets read. I was disappointed that 2 performances were sadly overlooked. Saoirse Ronan in Blitz, and Maya Hawke as Catholic novelist Flannery O'Connor in Wildcat. Okay, so this brings us to the main event, Best Picture.
And the Oscar goes to
On the Waterfront, West Side Story,
My Fair Lady, Godfather,
Rocky.
Schindler's List,
Titanic.
Parasite.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
This year's playing field offers a diverse slate of films, but in reality, it's entering the home stretch in a dead heat. There's nominees that have no real shot at winning. The It's an Honor Just to Be Nominated Club, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and I'm Still Here, which does have a shot at Best Foreign Language Film. Then there's the films with an outside chance, A Complete Unknown, The Brutalist, and Emilia Perez, though that film's frontrunner chances got torpedoed by a social media controversy involving one of its stars. And of course, Wicked, which, though a fan favorite, probably won't defy gravity come Oscar night. Sorry, don't throw a bucket of water on me. Just trying to give it to you straight. Which leaves 2 contenders with a realistic chance of winning to slug it out. Honora and Conclave. At this point, it's a coin toss. Honora has already nabbed the top prize from both the Directors and Producers Guilds, 2 traditional bellwethers for Oscar Gold, as well as the Writers Guild and the Critics' Choice Awards. That combination of wins has only lost once at the Oscars, when Brokeback Mountain lost to Crash back in 2006. In the other corner, we have Conclave, which gained late momentum, pulling out a surprising win at the BAFTAs and the Screen Actor Awards. And the buzz is, it may repeat an upset at the Academy Awards. Of all the categories, I feel the least confident making this call. I could easily see a scenario where the Academy sends up white smoke for Conclave. But my gut says the winner is Honora. Again, let me be clear. This is not what I want to win, but what I think will win. Of the nominated films, I'd vote for I'm Still Here or perhaps Dune Part 2. The latter for its pure cinematic achievement, despite some problematic elements, especially when taken as a whole with Part 1, like the Academy did with Return of the King to honor Peter Jackson's full Lord of the Rings trilogy. An interesting side note, Frank Herbert, the author who wrote the novels on which Dune is based, was raised Catholic, and hints of his Catholicism seep into his world building. My choice for Best Picture would have been the raw but ultimately redemptive prison drama Sing Sing, a powerful film for mature viewers with adult themes and strong language, but sadly, it was snubbed in the top category. Or, better yet, The Wild Robot, a heartfelt, family-friendly adventure which I hope wins Best Animated Feature and was easily one of my favorite films of the year. Well, them's my picks. You can see how I did with my predictions when the 97th Academy Awards air on Sunday, March 2nd on ABC. Until next time, I'm David DiCerto, and this is The Catholic Lens. And don't miss a single episode of The Catholic Lens. Follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and for full videos of our film reviews, subscribe to Castletown Media on YouTube. Stay connected and join the conversation in the comments.